going on, y'all? It's your girl Brownie Lost coming to y'all with another video. And before we even get started with the video, I do want to apologize for my absence. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. 2 weeks ago I had like a mental breakdown, and it's been a lot just trying to manage my mental illness and get like on a good schedule because I've been having to adjust everything, and I'm going to do a video about that whole thing, so stay tuned for that. But today we ain't gonna worry about all that. We're gonna actually be talking about makeup. So I am actually going to go ahead and start a beginner series called Beginner to Beginner. I don't really know how many videos I'm going to exactly do, but right now the first 3 videos are going to pertain to makeup. So this is part 1 of the Beginner to Beginner oh Lord have mercy. Yeah, please forgive me for losing my thoughts. But yeah, this is part 1 of 3 of my beginner to beginner makeup series. And basically in all 3 videos, like this one is going to be from beginner to beginner, what every beginner should know about makeup before they start. The next one is going to be about the products that I'm going to use. And then the third one is going to be my actual makeup tutorial. So going back to what I said in my second one, the products that I'm going to be explaining in my second beginner to beginner series video for makeup, those products are going to be what I'm going to use in my tutorial, and they will be all drugstore products. I personally have a mixture of drugstore and non-drugstore. We're going to get to that. I'm kind of jumping a bit ahead, but I just wanted to come up with a very simple and easy. I just want to come up with like a very simple and easy makeup tutorial, something that a lot of people could afford as well. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me grab my notes real fast because I need to be able to keep up, because I tend to lose my train of thought a lot. And I apologize for that if that happens at any point during this video. So y'all be patient with your girl. You know, we all just out here trying to make it. So yeah. Anyways, so the very first thing that you should know as a beginner before you start doing makeup is you should know your skin. What I mean by that is you need to know if you have oily skin, if you have dry skin, if you have combination skin, is your skin sensitive, if it's not. Reason why you want to know that is because, in my opinion, the very basis of like a good makeup routine is having a good skincare routine. Because, for example, I am dry, I have dry skin, and then I have sensitive skin. So everything that I do for my skincare routine pertains to that. All the products that I use do not irritate my skin, do not break my skin, and are not harsh on my skin for my daytime and my nighttime routine. And that is the same that goes with the makeup products that I use as well. And the reason why I do want to be careful, especially when it comes to making my, especially when it comes to my dry skin, is because I have to take different methods to make sure that my skin does not dry out, you know, whenever I wear my makeup. So for example, and I am jumping a bit ahead when I say this, but I don't bake. I'm not going to get into that right now, but just know that I don't bake. And so but I do use setting powder. I just don't use a whole lot on my face because that is going to dry my skin out. I also have to make sure that I moisturize my skin as much as possible to, again, avoid my skin getting dry from the makeup products that I use. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, so I may use like certain type of primers or just use extra lotions, use different textures and lotions, but whatever I use to just always make sure that my skin is moisturized before I do my makeup. And you need to do the same thing. You know, you need to know what your skin, like what kind of skin you have, so you know what techniques and stuff that you need to use, because somebody who's oily probably could get away more with using more setting powder than somebody who has dry skin like myself. And somebody who's oily may need to use different moisturizing products, more so products that control the oil. So, and you know, making sure that you use makeup products that control your oil as well. And the same thing with dry skin. Like a lot of the products that I use are dewy, because first of all, I like a dewy finish, and then 2, I can still use the matte, but I kind of want to be careful because matte helps control moisture and oil. But I don't want my moisture controlled too much, because then again my makeup is gonna look dry, my face is gonna be dry again because I have dry skin. So yes, with all that being said, and like I always say, just know what kind of skin, well, not always say, I'm thinking about hair, but yeah, just know your skin so you can know, again, what type of tools and everything and techniques and all that that you need to use, what kind of makeup and products and all that that you need to get so that your makeup can come out looking bomb, you feel me? And you ain't got no skin issues when you take off your makeup, you feel me? So yeah, the next one is If you have texture, it will show through your makeup. Texture on skin is extremely normal. Now, when I first became a beginner, I would watch YouTube videos of just women whose skin would be flawless. And I'm like, why is their skin so flawless? But when I put on makeup, I can still see the texture. But months down later, actually, I would like to say maybe this year, I started to learn that makeup showing through your skin is actually a very natural thing, because you have to think, or at least I needed to understand, that makeup is on top of skin. You see what I'm saying? Makeup does not take away like the look of the texture of skin. What makeup would do is it will even out your skin tone. Well, we're gonna say foundation, for example. Foundation will, for one, even out your skin tone. It will, you know, hide any hyperpigmentation. It will, you know, cover up any redness, of course, depending on what type of foundations that you use, etc., and whatever that you prefer. But that is the goal of foundation. It is not made to actually, in my opinion, make your skin look flawless, because if you have texture on your skin, when you put the foundation on, it's going to show, because again, you're just putting makeup on top of your actual skin. So that's going to bring me to my very next point, in that some makeup influencers do use filters. So if their skin looks flawless, maybe that is their skin. But I started to learn that a lot of makeup influencers use filters, so that's why their makeup looks so flawless. And going back to the next one, it's very normal to have texture. Most people in the world have texture. If you want to see how foundation lays on textured skin, I recommend watching YouTube influencers who have texture to their skin, mainly those who have cystic acne, because you will see, and it will prove how, no matter what, that texture is going to show, unless you know some type of different types of tricks, which there are some out there. I personally believe there are some out there to help that texture show less. Then if you're going to just go right on top of your skin with foundation, then that texture is going to be there. And you really can't do anything about it, but just embrace it. It's okay. It does not make your makeup look bad. There are plenty of people in this world who have all different types of texture and still wear makeup, and it still comes out looking great. So you don't need to spend a lot of money on makeup. Now, when you're a beginner, you know, at least for me, I'm going to say me, right? I'm going to use me as an example. I felt like that I needed to go out and buy all these different types of products to get like the perfect look, because again, I thought that the more money I spent on products, that meant that my skin would look more flawless. And then, to be honest, in my opinion, that's not true. I have a mixture of drugstore products and a mixture of non-drugstore products, and my texture still shows. The difference really isn't much. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. One thing about me is that I don't go with the hype, though. I just don't go out and buy products because what's popular. I buy products because of what's based off what my skin likes. What does my skin respond to positively? Because I don't really experiment with a lot of stuff, because again, I have sensitive skin. But you definitely don't need to spend a whole lot of money. You really, really don't. You can really get a decent look just buying products from the drugstore. Like this whole look, everything from the eyeshadow to what I use for my eyebrows, my highlighter, my blush, my foundation, what I use for my lips, this is literally all drugstore. And I'm not saying that I'm the best at my makeup, because I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert at doing makeup whatsoever. And I probably should have said this at first. I'm going to have to put a disclaimer in the beginning of the video. But yeah, I'm not an expert by any means. I'm just somebody that enjoys doing makeup. And I used to be a person that didn't even like makeup, and that definitely wasn't going to spend a lot of money on makeup. But I have spent some money on makeup. I'm not going to lie, I have, because I use whatever works and I use whatever I like. But you really don't have to go out and buy all this money. In my opinion, when you first started to do makeup, before I say this, my friend Kiara, she actually, when she first started doing makeup, she was using non-drugstore products. She was using MAC. And you can do that. If you got the money to buy it, then do it. But for me personally, I started more so experimenting with drugstore products first, just so I can learn how to apply my products. And then from there, I went to buying more expensive products. And now that I pretty much know how to do my makeup for the most part, you know, I can most definitely, you know, buy expensive products if I choose. But again, I don't have to, because I know for me, I can make my makeup look bomb without spending a whole lot of money on products, and you could do the same thing. All right, and then the fifth one is beware of trends. So the reason I want to say beware of trends is because when you're, and actually, before I even get to that part, The reason why you don't want to spend a whole lot of money as well when you become a beginner is because when you are a beginner at anything, you do have a lot of people that try to take advantage of you. So just know when you're out here and your people are telling you use this product because it's better, the more money you spend on the product, it's going to be better. That is not always necessarily true. So just beware of that and always keep that in mind. And again, just know you most definitely can go to the drugstore and get a decent look if that's what you prefer to do. Same thing is going to be with trends. It's very easy for beginners. It was the same thing with me to get wrapped up in following trends. When I talk about trends, I mainly talk about baking. Baking is this thing where everybody thinks that everybody has to do it. And that's not true. Baking is not for everybody. Now, am I saying setting powder is not for everybody? No, I am not. But baking within itself is not for everybody. Baking is not for me. I tried baking and it made my skin look dry and I did not like it. So when I put on my setting powder, I just literally patted it to my skin and I called it a day. I used to think you had to bake because the videos that I was watching was saying, oh, you got to bake. But then when I learned that you don't have to, I was like, oh, okay. And that was like the best day ever because I was really tired of my makeup looking cakey. On top of that, I was using a matte setting spray. And like I told y'all earlier, I got dry skin. So on top of using baking and then going back with a matte setting spray, no wonder why my skin was looking so dry. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it's literally that, you know, the trends, you definitely got to watch out for them. Like that triangle they tell you to do. Not a whole lot of people do that. And a lot of makeup artists have came out and said that that doesn't work. If that's what you want to do, cool. But you really do got to be aware of trends. One thing about makeup is that everybody's going to have an opinion about it. But at the end of the day, you know, you just have to find and figure out what works for you. And if a trend is not working for you, then don't do it. There are way other better methods to doing makeup. So yes, please beware of trends. If some don't work for you, then don't do it and find something else that'll work for you. Cool, cool. The next thing is take learning how to do makeup step by step. Learning how to do anything can be overwhelming, and makeup is no different. For me personally, I have anxiety and all that. But what I found helped me was just taking it step by step. So I learned how to do foundation and concealer first. Then I learned how to do blush and highlighter. Eyeshadow has always been a thing for me, but I wasn't the best at blending my eyeshadow. But now I'm pretty good at blending my eyeshadow. But yeah, I've always wanted eyeshadow. Next I started with bronzing, and I want to say, and contouring. Actually, no, before I started doing that, I started learning how to put on my eyelashes. Then I started learning about bronzing and contouring. So I literally just took it step by step, and every time I learned something new that I liked, if I was having an issue with it, I would go and practice it. So just know you don't have to learn how to do everything all at once. You can just, if I suggest anything, at least learn how to do foundation, concealer, blush, and highlighter. And, you know, start practicing your eyebrows if you don't know how to do them. Because my eyebrows, I've been practicing them for a couple of years, and I finally got them decently to where I want them to be. They're not perfect. I don't get them perfect every time. Most of the time I do. I've gotten a lot better at doing my eyebrows. But I'm still practicing. Just like with my eyelashes, I'm still practicing. These, I actually get someone to put these on for me. But I also, when I don't go to my eyelash lady, like if I'm waiting between appointments, and I just put on my own eyelashes, and I've gotten a lot better at putting them on. But practice makes perfect, and that's everything you do. Practice is going to make perfect. But yes, don't get overwhelmed. Calm down. Again, learn how to do foundation, concealer, blush, and highlighter, and learn how to do your eyebrows as well, because that would give you like a very basic and simple makeup look, and then everything else will follow after. That way you don't overwhelm yourself and you don't stress yourself out and just give up on makeup completely. And you can use that with anything that you do. There's always just a first step and a basis of everything, and then as you advance, you get better. But like I always say, and well, not always say, but like I just said, practice makes perfect. So don't be too hard on yourself either as you learn. It's okay, you're going to make mistakes, but hey, unless you're trying to become a makeup artist, to be honest with you, and even if you are, learn from your mistakes and just, yeah, and just keep practicing. And the very last thing, do your makeup how you please. Let me tell you something. Like I said a little bit earlier, these makeup artists going to do whatever they want to do, whether they're being honest or not. Everybody does their makeup according to what works for them, their skin, their texture, their structure, and everything else. So you do the same thing. If your favorite makeup artist is doing something and you just don't like it and you just don't prefer it, then that's perfectly fine. Don't do it. You don't have to. I do my makeup on what works for me. Are there better ways to do makeup? In my opinion, I think so. But if you don't like it, and if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. There are people who like to be very dramatic with their makeup. There are people who just like a simple look. You see what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do, then just do it. And don't worry about what anybody else is going to say. Because if they don't want to do their makeup the way that you're doing yours, then guess what? They just don't have to do it that way. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, nevertheless, just have fun, enjoy it. Makeup is fun. And yeah, I definitely enjoy putting on makeup. It's definitely not necessarily giving me like a confidence boost, but it's just something that I enjoy doing. I just love just getting myself together, putting my face together, and I've grown the patience to do it because I didn't used to have the patience to do makeup. That's why I didn't really want to do it for real. But now, yeah, I definitely enjoy it, and you will too. Just don't stress about it. Like I said, take it step by step, figure out what works for you, and then you'll be good. So with all that being said, I love y'all. God bless y'all, and I will catch y'all in my next video. Bye.